with our debris tracker this morning. So from Winston-Salem towards Walkertown, that's kind of where we are seeing this potential for damaging straight line winds. And really, you can kind of see this is another product of velocity, and you can see a little bit of the winds. This is the winds kind of going away and towards the radar here, and this is from Blacksburg, Virginia. So the green is going towards the radar in Blacksburg, Virginia, and the red is going away from the radar. So when you kind of see this is where we are seeing that potential for it, and this is right on top of the ABC 45 studio on 421 Greensboro Road, moving into Kernersville. So if you are in Kernersville right now, you need to make sure that you are staying in your safe place as well. This is moving very rapidly off towards the east, and what I'm going to do here, this was just in Winston-Salem about 10 minutes ago. So that just shows you how rapidly this is moving off towards the east. I'm going to put on a tracker here, and I may have to widen the view. Let's see if I can get... I'm going to have to widen it because it's moving too fast for my tracker, but I'm going to try to put on some cities here. So Greensboro in the next 17 minutes, this is going to be moving into the Greensboro area. Elon in the next 34 minutes. So this again is a very rapidly developing system, and it's going to be on top of your doorstep here shortly. Burlington in about 42 minutes, and Mebane, if this holds together, in about 50 minutes. And this is the main line. Once this line moves through, we should be clear of the severe weather threat. Now, the other thing that we've got to watch maybe later this afternoon, as the actual cold front comes through, there may be some redevelopment later on with this that we'll have to watch. But the severe thunderstorm watch that has been issued already for parts of Allegheny County has now been allowed to be canceled because it's this main line that we're seeing. We've had a tornado warning in the Charlotte area, but that has since been allowed to be canceled. However, let's go ahead and take a look down towards the Albemarle, southern Davidson County, and parts of Montgomery County here. This storm, this was the one that had the tornado warning in the Charlotte area, and it is moving closer towards Albemarle right now, moving into southern Davidson County. There is no tornado warning, but there is a severe thunderstorm warning with winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. So not everyone is going to see severe damaging winds or a tornado, but we do have the potential within this line. An embedded tornado is possible. And in this severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Montgomery County, Davidson County, Randolph County, this warning goes into effect until 11 o'clock this morning. And what the National Weather Service has done, you don't see it here, but in this warning, they have what they call a tornado possible tag. So they haven't issued a tornado warning with this severe thunderstorm warning in Davidson County, but they've included a possible tornado tag with it. That means that at any point, a tornado could develop in this line. So even if you're not in that tornado warning, you're still in a severe thunderstorm warning, and you need to treat it as a tornado warning. Make sure that you are away from windows. If you are getting ready to head to work or getting ready to go somewhere, hold off on doing so. Okay, stay at home, stay where you're at right now, stay in a safe location until this storm passes. The one good thing about this is it's moving very fast. So it is going to be in and out very quickly. But we could see up to 60 miles per hour in some of the strongest parts of this storm in Davidson County. Let's go back up to the tornado warning in Forsyth County. Okay, so this is right on top of Kernersville right now. And let's take a look here at some of the velocity scans. Well, we got somebody calling me. So here we go, all right? you can see there's not a whole lot of strong rotation, which is good, but this has very strong winds. When I'm looking at this, again, you can see the green going towards the radar from Blacksburg, Virginia, and the reds are going away. So here's the circulation right now in northern parts of the Kernersville area. And I'm going to actually put on some street levels. This is Vance Road and also Piney Grove Road. So this is where the location of the potential tornado would be right now. So again, if you are in eastern part of Forsyth County into western Guilford County, we still have that tornado warning, and this is where the potential tornado would be. You can kind of see it's showing some minor rotation right here in eastern parts of Forsyth County. And again, in Guilford County, here is Oak Ridge. This is moving into the Oak Ridge area. This is moving off towards the east-northeast. So Guilford County, get ready, because this again is moving very fast and will be rapidly moving into the area. Very heavy rain, blinding rain. And that's why if you are heading out this morning, that's why a lot of schools went ahead and canceled for the day, because of the potential for very strong winds and also the possibility for tornadoes. And so let's take a look here at there's not really a whole lot of debris signature. This might be some straight line winds being picked up here. There might be some minor damage with some straight line winds. Not necessarily seeing that signature with the rotation part of the storm, again, which is right here near 421 and 66. Here's Colfax. This storm is moving into your area right now. What I want to do is kind of take a wider picture and just kind of show you how fast this storm is moving. And this was that line that we were talking about yesterday on social media, on the potential for some severe weather today. And it's this one main line coming through late morning into the afternoon. We've got a tornado warning still in parts of Patrick County, Virginia, moving into Martinsville right now. We've got that tornado warning in eastern Forsyth and western Guilford. And then the orange boxes here are all severe thunderstorm warnings with straight line wind gust up to 60, potentially 70 miles per hour, which includes Montgomery County, Randolph County, Davidson County, the severe thunderstorm warnings, also in the tornado warnings for Guilford and Forsyth County, and then Rockingham and Stokes County. This line here in Stokes County moving into Rockingham County has wind gust potential up to 60 miles per hour, along with possible tornado. The thing about this system, you can see, I'm going to actually stop this and go back. This was a 3-hour loop. So 3 hours ago, at 7:30 this morning, we had one band of showers moving through, and the band that's developed here, that's on top of us right now, was into the mountains, into eastern Tennessee 3 hours ago. So that just tells you how quickly this system is going to be moving into our area, and then how quickly it's going to be moving out. So this is kind of a one and done. Once we get this system in here, once it passes, you will be clear. We may have to watch for more redevelopment later on this afternoon. Right now, one thing I am noticing is actually the stronger storm, it looks like, is up in northern Stokes County here. Let's just take a look at the velocity. Looks like some pretty strong winds right now, and maybe even some hail. Gate-to-gate shear isn't too bad with this system, so that is some good news. But there is a minor hook. Anytime you see kind of the kidney bean shape here, this is where we start to see some rotation. So in the northeastern part of Stokes County, right now there is not a tornado warning, but this is a little bit of a concerning little signature. So I'm going to monitor that very closely. This is over Dodgetown and Delta. This is going to be moving into Beaver Island here very shortly. So again, treat this line as you would a tornado warning. Get into the lowest level of your home and into an interior room away from windows. And again, this is going to be rapidly moving off towards the east. Tornado warning remains in effect until 10:45 for eastern Forsyth and western Guilford County. It does appear that this is moving into the Colfax area right now, crossing 40 into Guilford County from Forsyth County. So kind of the Sandy Ridge area, Bunker Hill Road, that is kind of where we're looking at the possibility for this storm to be moving, the rotation part of this storm to be moving into your area. Again, there's not major or strong signature for rotation, but just the way that the dynamics are with this system as a whole, the upper levels of the atmosphere, there is a tremendous amount of wind energy and a tremendous amount of what we call wind shear, which is winds changing direction and speed with height. And once you get a thunderstorm that grows up into the clouds, it can tap into that strong wind, and what we call a downdraft, it can bring those winds down with that downdraft. And so that's the concern that we're seeing right now. I'm going to try to take a look here at the National Weather Service to see if there's any reports of any damage, anything being reported right now. I don't see anything. I just keep seeing there's no, so far this is just a radar indicated tornado warning. Let's go back, and what we're going to do here, I'm going to read. So again, 1045, the cities included Deep River, Jamestown, Oak Ridge, Stokesdale. That's just a few that get highlighted here, but there's many more. So from the National Weather Service, and hopefully you can still see this here, a tornado warning remains in effect until 1045. Edit for the eastern Forsyth County area, as I've been talking about. This is now crossing the Forsyth-Guilford County line. This storm is capable of producing a tornado and was located over Kernersville, or 8 miles east of Winston-Salem, moving northeast at 50 miles per hour. This storm will be near Greensboro by around 10:35, which is right now, so it's a little bit lagging here in the National Weather Service time. But this is going to be including parts of 85 mile marker 33 and near mile marker 120, Interstate 40 between mile marker 196 and 216, Interstate 73 between mile markers 97 and 103, and Interstate 74 between mile marker 56 and 68. So right now, if I called out those interstates and you live anywhere near that, you need to take cover right now, get to a basement or interior room to the lowest floor of your home. If you've got a basement, that is the best place to be. Again, we started this shortly after 10 o'clock with the storm moving in Winston-Salem, and it has now passed. So far, I have not seen any reports of damage. Of course, if you have any storm reports to give us, you can do so at abc45.com or weather@abc45.com. Also, you can go to our website, abc45.com, and you can submit to what we call Chime In. At the top of our website is a tab that says Chime In, and you can submit your weather photos there. And this will help us to determine wind damage reports, what's actually happening. If you are able to spot a funnel cloud or a tornado in a safe time, obviously if you are in the path of this system, I do not want you getting out. I want you in your safe place right now. But ground truth is always the best when we are looking at these things. A new tornado warning has just been issued, I believe, for Montgomery County. So let's go down to that storm. This is for Randolph County and Montgomery County for this cell right here. Let's check out the velocity. And sometimes we have to switch radars. Let me see which radar this is coming out from. This is coming out from the Raleigh radar, which has a better look on it. Let's see what the National Weather Service says on this storm. Okay, so this was a radar indicated storm. So far, there's no confirmed reports, and this warning goes into effect until 11 a.m. this morning. Okay, and I'm going to put that up. Tornado warning, so you can see all the warnings, the boxes. So this tornado warning was issued. The National Weather Service was spotted this tornado warning at 10:36 with a storm capable of producing a tornado located over the Baden Lake area in Montgomery County, moving northeast at 50 miles per hour. Okay, some other locations other than Baden Lake are going to be Steeds, El Dorado, Star, and Morrow Mountain State Park. This includes Interstate 73 between mile markers 50 and 71. So let's zoom in here. My family had a home for many years down at Baden Lake, so I'm very familiar with this area. This is right on top of Baden Lake, Uwharrie Park, 109 right now. I'm not seeing, and let's get back to the velocity. There we go. So you can see that this is right on top of Baden Lake area. You can see the reds, again, going away from the radar in Blacksburg, Virginia, and then the winds going towards the radar here. And this would be that indication of a minor potential tornado. So this is a very serious situation. It's moving very fast at 50 miles per hour off towards the east-northeast and is going to be affecting parts of the Baden Lake area right now, El Dorado and Uwharrie Park on 109 here, crossing 109 very shortly. And it looks like this is going to be going into parts of Randolph County. I'm going to loop this, so it's a 45-minute loop. So you can see how quickly this progressed further off towards the west, and now just within 45 minutes, this moved a good, let's go back. This was in the Concord area just 45 minutes ago. And now you can see how quickly it has jumped. And I'm going to get let's measure this here. I mean, this jumped 30 miles in 45 minutes. So it's moving rapidly off towards the east. We have 2 tornado warnings in our viewing area this morning. This line is a very strong and severe line. The yellow boxes, the orange boxes are severe thunderstorm warnings. So we're going to kind of break this down. We're going to go county by county here from north to south. Martinsville, Virginia, under a tornado warning right now, which is technically out of our viewing area, but I know that some of you have family and some people get our signal from that area. But this is until 10:45, so just a few more minutes with that. But a severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect for parts of Rockingham and Stokes County until 10:45 as well. And that warning will likely get extended further off towards the east, towards the Eden area and towards Reidsville. So the storm is right over Beaver Island, 220 on 73, moving east very rapidly. So if you live in Eden, if you live in Reidsville, this is not going to miss you. So right now, you should go ahead, treat this as a tornado warning, potentially up to 60 to 70 mile per hour straight line winds. And everyone's so focused on tornadoes, but I feel like a lot of people really kind of focus too much on tornadoes and kind of get just, they forget about straight line winds. And straight line winds can do just as much damage as a tornado. And that's the concern that we've got right now with this line here moving off towards the east in Rockingham County. So let's not forget that even if you are not under a tornado warning, doesn't mean that this line is not going to pack a punch. And so I want everyone to make sure that you are safe. What I'm noticing from this storm in Guilford County now is that it looks like the strongest part of this is going to be moving north of Greensboro. So that is good news for the Greensboro folks, but over in Summerfield, this storm is moving rapidly off towards the east, northeast here. And you can still see that there is some minor rotation with this storm. And I want to go to check the National Weather Service. Let's see if there is any... Not seeing any storm reports being issued with this, so that is good news. And of course, all of this so far is just radar indicated. And so there goes that new severe thunderstorm warning for Rockingham County that was just issued as I scrolled up. And this goes into effect until 11:30 this morning. So we're going to watch this with wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. This storm was moving along a line extended from near Songtag to near Bethany, moving east at 40 miles per hour. The National Weather Service has also, again, continued a tornado tag, and we now have a new tornado warning that just popped up into southern southern Rockingham County. This is going to be moving into the Reidsville area here. So let's take a look at the velocity. Here we go. So this one actually is a little bit stronger of a signal. Right over Whitty's Crossroad, just kind of south of Bethany. And this is the rotation. So the winds are going away from Blacksburg, Virginia's radar. And the green is going towards. This is a classic rotation signature right now. Probably the strongest signature that we've seen so far this morning. If you are in Rockingham County, if you are in the Bethany area, Whitty's Crossroad, you need to be in the lowest level of your home possible into an interior room away from windows. This is going to be moving off towards Reidsville here. And actually what I want to do is take let me see what the National Weather Service, let's see how, this is moving, I believe, it's moving east at 45 miles per hour. And the tornado warning is in effect until 11:15 for the southern part of Rockingham County. And so I'm going to take, let's see if I can do this, moving. So yeah, this is even, wow, okay. So this is going to be in Reidsville probably before 11 o'clock. It's 10:46 right now. You've got about, I would say, 10 minutes before this storm gets to your location. So right now you need to be in your safe place. This is going to be moving towards Ashland by 11:17, and I would take off a good 3 to 5 minutes with this because it's moving pretty fast. And then Yanceyville, I would say by 11:30 this morning. High Towers, again, if this holds together and it's moving pretty fast, this will be moving into your area by 11:45 as well. So right now, again, if you live in Rockingham County, you need to be in your safe place. This is where we're seeing the rotation. Right here along 158 in the Bethany area towards Whitty's Crossroad, and this is moving east at 40 miles per hour. The National Weather Service has issued that tornado warning here at about 10:45, and that warning goes into effect until 11:15. So far, this has just been radar confirmed, but I'm going to take a look to see if, and here we go. So this, when you look at this product here, and this is what I am a bit concerned about with looking at this currently. This is our debris tracker, okay? So this product here can take away the rain droplets, because rain is the same shape and size, theoretically, right? So this product takes away the rain droplets, and it allows things for like hail or trees, debris, things like that, like roof structures, twigs, and it can take away the rain droplets and show us that there are different sizes in the radar that's being picked up by the radar signature. Now, when I look at the velocity product and I look at the rotation, it is pretty much right in line with the rotation that we're seeing right now. So this, to me, is a potential tornado on the ground. The National Weather Service has not issued a confirmed tornado, but there may be what we call a CC drop or debris drop with this storm. And what I'm going to do here, and there was that signature. A lot of times with this situation, these tornadoes can form very quickly, drop from the sky down to the ground, quickly do its damage, and then lift back up before you even know it. And we don't have time to warn. So that's what I am very concerned about. This is moving into the Reidsville area. So if you are in Reidsville, again, make sure that you are in your safe place right now. Let's take a look here. This is moving in between 158 in the Monroeton area, Baker's Crossroad. So just south of Baker's Crossroad, west of Reidsville. This right here is right on top of Woolen Store Road. Here is Miller Chapel Road. This is going to be crossing over Miller Chapel Road here shortly in southern Rockingham County towards Reidsville. So if you know anyone that lives in Reidsville, let them know that there is currently a potential tornado on the ground moving east towards Reidsville. What we're doing here is we're getting new alerts from the National Weather Service. Let's see. I'm chatting with the National Weather Service about that debris signature. Okay. All right, so here we go. We're going to reset. If you were just tuning in, wondering why we were on the air, well, we've got several tornado warnings. The tornado warning in Guilford County has since been allowed to be canceled. The storm has weakened in parts of Guilford County, but has re-strengthened on the northern side of Guilford County into southern Rockingham County, where we're now seeing that storm moving into Reidsville. Let's see. And what I'm going to do is all right. So the rotation looks to be a little bit more broad than it was earlier. And I'm going to go back when you can kind of see how it was moving in between Bethany there and between 158 and it is now moving into the Reidsville area. They've kind of cut off the tornado warning for the western part of Rockingham County, and it is now for the Reidsville area, still until 11:15. But this, the new information coming out so far, just tornado radar indicated. At 10:52, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Monroeton near Reidsville, moving east at 50 miles per hour. The storm will likely be over Reidsville and Haw River State Park here shortly. Let's go back to the radar. You can kind of see, one thing is for sure is that there's very heavy rain, blinding rain within this line. And the other thing that kind of is getting forgotten here is the severe thunderstorm warnings. Winds, straight line wind damage in excess of 60 miles per hour can quickly do some damage in the area as well. We still have that tornado warning in parts of Montgomery County and Randolph County. This goes into effect until 11 o'clock. So just about 5 to 6 more minutes on this storm. And this is coming from the Raleigh radar. And there might be, it's really kind of hard to tell, but there might be some, the rotation might be right there on 134 in Montgomery County, on the northern part of 134, northern end of Montgomery County, moving east-northeast towards the Black Ankle Road area, kind of closer towards Seagrove in Randolph County. But emergency management in Randolph County says surprisingly not a single storm report out of the area. So that is good news that there is no reports of any damage so far with this line. Let's keep our fingers crossed that that is the case. On the southern edge of Montgomery County, we've got still a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag. This has winds of 60 miles per hour and is moving off towards the northeast at 55 miles per hour. And that severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 11 o'clock. And that's for this area here highlighted. So right now there's no indication of any rotating storms, but I just don't want anyone to let their guard down. Obviously, a tornado is more concerning, and especially when you get a tornado warning, everyone thinks, we can let our guard down with just, okay, we got a severe thunderstorm warning, we're fine. That's not the case. Straight line wind damage can do, or straight line winds can do just as much damage as tornado winds. So even in the severe thunderstorm warnings, I don't want anyone to let their guard down. Here's the good news. As this has been progressing eastward, we've just seen what we call stratiform rain, which is basically just widespread light to moderate rain. We've got more stable air on the western side of this area. The cold front is still well off towards the west, so we may get some redevelopment later this evening. We may have to watch, but the instability has been building this morning. Potentially, we could see some more instability developing if we see some breaks in the clouds today. And that'll be something that we're going to have to watch later on as well. So we've got technically 3 tornado warnings, but 3 counties under a tornado warning right now. And again, the southern part of this storm is the tornado warning for Montgomery County and Randolph County, which does not include Asheboro, but this line is now moving into the Asheboro area with a severe thunderstorm warning with wind potential gust up to 60 miles per hour. And then we've also got a tornado warning that is moving into the Reidsville area as we speak. It is right on top of Reidsville. And you can kind of see the rotation has been on the northern end. So we've kind of seen the rotation jumping with this storm, and a new tornado warning with that northern part of the storm in Reidsville was just issued. So let's take a look at this one here. This one goes into effect until 11:30 for Reidsville and Ruffin. A tornado was possible from the Doppler radar at 10:58 and was capable of producing a tornado located over Reidsville, moving northeast at 55 miles per hour. Locations impacted will be Reidsville, Wentworth, Yanceyville, Bethel, Providence, Gatewood, and Quick. So this is, again, going to be moving very fast, as we've been talking about all morning long, at how quickly this line is moving. Once it moves through your area, it's going to be out of here. So you got to give yourself about 5 to 10 minutes staying hunkered down, and then it's going to quickly move out of your area. You're going to hear some strong winds. It's going to sound a little eerie. You're going to hear the very heavy rain, and that may sound a little bit scary, but it's going to be out of your area very quickly. And that's just this the setup that we've got, that this is why the National Weather Service is quickly issuing these warnings, because there's just not going to be a whole lot of warning time with this. That what we see are these storms, they're going to be pulsing up and pulsing down. The rotation is going to be coming, and again, quickly these storms could just drop from the cloud to the ground and within 10 seconds do some damage, and then quickly kind of weaken a little bit and lift back up. And then as we progress further to the east, it may regenerate. And that's why we continue to see more of these tornado warnings popping up here, and that's what we've seen. This is really the same energy that was over for Forsyth County, where we had that tornado warning earlier that was moving east into Guilford County. The energy jumped to the north, and we saw that rotation with that southern part of the storm in Rockingham County take the energy from Guilford County, and now that's why we're kind of concerned with some rotation here. Let's check to see if the National Weather Service has any thoughts on So one thing that I've noticed is that in the Charlotte area with some of these storms, there's been reports now that the storms have moved their area and people have gotten out and about, now starting to show some wind damage reports in the Charlotte area where there was a tornado warning earlier this morning. So the latest update, we can now say that the tornado warning for Randolph and Montgomery County have now been allowed to be canceled, but we still have that severe thunderstorm warning in parts of Montgomery, Randolph County, southeastern Guilford County until, I believe, 11, this might be a new update, so let's see, until 11:30. So that severe thunderstorm warning, which means that this line is capable of producing straight line winds in excess up to 60 miles per hour. And the only tornado warning that we've got is in Rockingham County, where there's been a lot of rotation within this cell here. This is actually the strongest part of this line that I'm noticing right now. And it looks like we've got some pretty good rotation on the northern edge of Reidsville here towards Sadler. And if you look at the tornado warning, it's this second line here. So this Oregon Hill, you're outside of that, but this continues to trend further north Here is Harrison's Crossroad, again, outside of the tornado warning, but this is green. The green is going towards the radar. This is the radar picking up on the wind field just several feet above the ground. So we're not quite sure exactly what's happening at the surface because the radar beams actually scan at an angle. So that's the problem sometimes with radar technology, is that as they scan at an angle, the further away you go, the higher the radar beam is scanning at an elevation. But the fact that we're seeing rotation here doesn't necessarily mean that there's a tornado on the ground, but there is significant rotation with this storm that a tornado could pop up at any moment. And one good product that we look at for ground surface is the debris tracker, which right now I'm not seeing any signature that there's debris happening within that rotation. So that is some good news, because this product here takes away the rain droplets, because rain droplets are pretty much the same size, shape and size, right? So the debris tracker can take the rain product away and pick up things like trees, twigs, building structures. And so far on this northern edge of the storm, we haven't seen that. Earlier, I was looking at the debris tracker that showed some signs of debris that we're just going to have to kind of wait in time to see if there was any debris, whether it was straight line winds or a tornado. But a significant enough rotation that the National Weather Service is concerned enough to reissue this tornado warning in parts of Rockingham County until 11:30. Let's check this out. And this is going to be going into Caswell County. Yep. So 11:30, and then this will be moving into the Caswell County area here shortly. Are we ready for Lizbeth? Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay. We're going to go over to Lizbeth Ramirez, who's got some information on some power outages.
Thanks, Jonathan. Well, it is one of those things where things can happen in any second. I was just outside right before the tornado warning hit, and I mean, there was like nothing outside, and you could see the clouds, but there wasn't a lot of action going on. And then 15 minutes later, there was a lot of rain, and right now, outside the station, you can't see a lot of that anymore. You can't see those winds, but it is still very important to be safe and shelter when you can, as Jonathan has mentioned. But some of the things that I want you to know and keep in mind is if there is a shelter in place for your location here in the Triad, you have to go to the lowest floor and protect your head with pillows, blankets, avoid the elevators, and do not try to outrun the storm. Another thing that is also very important is to be where there is no windows, because during a storm, that is one of the things that can get hit. Some other things that I wanted to mention as well, if I can get this off the screen, there is I don't think I can there, that's okay. There is about 346 power outages right now. According to Duke Energy, Winston-Salem had about 17, and I know the Yadkinville County area had about 746. And I did go in deeper. As I said, I can't mention it right now on the map, but you can see that some of that is coming from the power outages from right now because of the storms and the severe weather. So make sure that if you have a power outage, if there is something going on with your power, make sure to call Duke Energy or whoever your provider is. But again, there are 346 active ones, and there are thousands of people without power right now, but we are still in contact with Duke Energy to figure out what else we can know. So again, if I can get this to zoom in a little bit, maybe not right now, but that is okay. Tornado preparations, go to the lowest floor, protect your head with pillows, blankets, avoid elevators, and do not try to outrun the storm. Also, make sure that you are nowhere near windows. That is something that we are doing here at the station as well. When we can, just make sure that you're being safe and that you protect yourself. Back to you, Jonathan.
All right, thanks, Lizbeth. Once again, we are continuing to see this tornado warning. I've actually widened the picture here real quickly, and I put on a 45-minute loop just to show you how fast this line is moving. 45 minutes ago, this was in Forsyth County and parts of Stokes County. It is now rapidly pushed off towards the east, moving into eastern Rockingham County and western Caswell County. So this is going to be in and out of your area very quickly. So if you can get to the lowest level of your home, an interior room, a bathroom, a closet, anything away from windows, the one good thing that we have really been noticing with this line so far, there's not been any reports of damage. Now, that doesn't mean that there won't be later as people are getting out and about. But we haven't seen a debris signature with this current line. We did see one a little bit on the southwestern part of Rockingham County, but the National Weather Service, I did chat with them a little bit about that, and they're looking into it, but they're not that concerned to issue a confirmed tornado as they would if the debris signature was a little bit stronger. So right now, this is a tornado warning and a possible tornado just radar indicated because, as I said earlier, when we look at radar scans, the radar sits several feet up, and then the scan actually scans at an angle, right? So the farther away you go from the radar, the higher that beam is, and we just can't see exactly what's happening down at the ground. And that's why we use different products like that debris tracker, because it can actually show different types of shape and sizes. It takes away the rain product and gives us opportunity to see if there's anything larger or smaller than a rain droplet. Let's go back into this storm. This tornado warning remains in effect for Rockingham County and Caswell County until 11:30. One thing I am noticing, though, is that it's becoming a little bit more of a bowing segment, but every once in a while, when we get these bowing segments on the southern fringe here, we start to kind of see a recurve. So potentially right now, this may be weakening, and as it progresses eastward, it potentially could re-strengthen or regenerate, especially on the southern edge of the flanking downdraft here. So that is something that we're going to keep a close eye on as this moves into Caswell County. But earlier, if you got those alerts on your phone, I know we got it here at the station in Forsyth County, we are in the clear. You can actually see that. We've just got some light rain showers. What I do want to do, because I haven't had a chance to look at my phone or much information here, I want to go to the watches and the warnings that we've got. Earlier, there was a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for parts of the mountains and the foothills all the way down into the Charlotte area, which was included in that tornado watch. The tornado watch for the Charlotte area has since been allowed to be canceled because this is the line that we're watching. This is the main line, and once it moves through, our severe weather threat is going to be out of here. So there's a few good things with that, is that we saw this line coming in a little bit earlier, which means that we didn't have time to see a whole lot of daytime heating. The problem is it did come in later in the morning, and so we started to see some of that daytime heating from late morning. And here we are shortly after 11 o'clock as this line has progressed eastward. We've got to watch. We're watching two cells right now. Okay, the cells that I'm watching are in eastern Rockingham and western Caswell County, and then in eastern Guilford County and eastern Rockingham. This storm here in eastern Guilford County still has strong straight line winds. We'll have to watch the southern edge here because this is the area closer towards Ramsor. This is where we would typically see potential for rotation as this bowing segment moves off towards the east. Every once in a while, you'll get some rotation on that southern edge. And so we're going to have to just watch. And actually, I'm going to take a look here at some of the velocity scans to see it hasn't quite caught up with the latest latest radar scan. But let's go into Caswell County here real quickly. And what we'll do is we'll look to see if there's any information from the National Weather Service. And that's good. When the National Weather Service does not necessarily chat with us much, it means that there's not really a whole lot going on, meaning that we're not seeing storm reports coming in, or we're not seeing anything that the National Weather Service is too concerned with, and they're just giving us the 10 to 15 minute updates with the warnings, meaning that they're continuing the warnings. We'll get that every once in a while. Are we going back to Lizbeth? Let's go back to Lizbeth here with a little bit more information.
All right, friends, we are back. Thank you, Jonathan. So something that I want you guys.
I think we're still on me right now.
All right.
Al, can you flip that over right there? There we go.
We are back live. So hello, everybody. I just wanted to show you guys the Duke Energy power outage map. I wasn't able to show it to you last time. You guys know technical difficulties happen, but we wanted to make sure that we keep you guys informed. So as you can see, it seems like there was a lot of outages, but we're going to zoom into the Triad area here, to the Winston-Salem, Greensboro, High Point area. As you can see, just over in Winston-Salem, we see about 120, and then it gets a little bit smaller. We're going to click just over here on one of them and see what it says, because again, it does depend on where you're at. This is on Overlook Drive. If anybody's in Overlook, please let us know how it is looking in your area. And as you can see, if you look in closer, you can see the status is being updated, but that they were reported at 10:26 a.m. Now, if you can remember, that warning came out around 10:15, 10:20. So right now, with it being 11:14, there is still some out here, but we can figure out that these do have to do with the severe weather. There is also some closer to the Yadkinville area as well. We want to make sure we get to that. That it was reported on March 16th, so that is today. And
All right.
it's supposed to be done around
Elizabeth,
45.
we're going to come back to me real quickly. So we're taking a look here at this tornado warning. It seems that the rotation is on the northern part of this tornado warning in parts of Caswell County, just north of Blackwell, and kind of south of Whitefield, Virginia, just south of Danville. So this goes into effect until 11:30 this morning. And if I can actually switch over to storm reports, I'm not sure. There we go. We got one report in the Reidsville area from a viewer saying that there were some trees down on power lines. So as Lizbeth was saying that there are some power outages in the area, we do have one report in the Reidsville area just north of Reidsville here on 87, I believe, 87, that there is some trees down in the Rockingham area as well. Let's widen the picture here real quickly, and what we're going to do is let's see. We've had some reports of wind damage in Surrey County as well earlier today. So several reports, and there was no tornado warnings for parts of Surrey County, but this was straight line winds that we saw earlier this morning, just within that line that moved through with the first batch. And we've gotten that one report in Reidsville with this tornado warning of some trees down on power lines across the area. All right, I think we've got Lizbeth back now.
That is correct, Jonathan. Thank you. All right, guys. So there's been some technical difficulties, but we are back here. So just guys, I wouldn't want to show you guys this map. As you can see, this is the outages in the Carolinas according to Duke Energy. If you have a different provider, there is a different map for that, and we can get that as we continue to update you guys. So we're going to start off in Winston-Salem. You can see that there's about 154, and they're all spread out. So we're going to head first to the Yadkinville area here, right by Louisville and Huntsville. we can see that there's 439, and we're going to click a little bit closer. This is on Old US 421. So if you live in this area, please let us know what you are looking at. As you can see, this was reported at March 16th, 10:30 in the morning. And as you can remember, the first tornado warning that came out today was around 10:15. So it does coincide with this time. And right now, the restoration period for them is going to be 2:45 p.m. and crews are working, and it does say here the cause. So you can see some of that damage starting to come in. It says the outage was caused by falling trees or limbs damaging our equipment. And I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of that as we progress during the day. I know we heard Jonathan talking about Surrey County as well. We're going to try to see if we can find it on this map here. Go up a little bit. Again, there's just a lot of different locations here that we're seeing a lot more power outages come in. First, I just want to take a look at how many there are. Right now, there's 314 active outages in the area and about 8,000 people without power. You can go to Duke Energy to figure out how to see if your power will get back on and what time. We're going to head over here to the High Point area. There's a little bit less in this area here. It's about 6. And this is more towards the Thomasville area. As you zoom in, you can actually see where exactly it's happening at. So this is on East Sunrise Road, and they have also been without power since 10:32 in the morning. The cause right now, it says it is unknown, but it says that crews are on the way. So if you live on East Sunrise Avenue, someone is coming to help you there. I know that for these severe weather events, there are a lot of people that are getting ready, and there's a lot of crews that are making sure that they can get your power back on. Again, if you have any pictures or videos of what it's looking like, let us know. You can do that on abc45.com on our Chime website. If you have any other things that you're seeing in the area, just send us a text or send us a DM through Facebook on our social medias. We will keep you updated. But back to Jonathan.
All right, thanks, Lizbeth, for that. Again, we are continuing to see severe weather this morning, kind of as expected. It has come in a little bit faster, which is actually good news. And this line is moving extremely fast. So you're going to be dealing with some very strong winds, potentially damaging winds for about 5 to 10 minutes in your area. And then it's going to be out of here. And then one of the things that we're watching right now is the storm that's in northern Caswell County moving into Virginia towards the Danville area. And this is a new tornado warning for Caswell County until 11:45. Now, I do believe that the rotating part of this storm is actually going to be into Virginia and out of our technical viewing area before 11:45. But this is kind of moving over the Shelton, Gatewood area into the northwestern part of Caswell County here this morning. And you can kind of see the winds, the velocity really is moving. The rotating part of this storm is really right along the North Carolina-Virginia border, and it is moving off towards the northeast at about 55 miles per hour. So very strong, very concerning with this. We've also got more storms that are moving into parts of Alamance County, now out of Guilford County. And again, as I've been talking about all morning long, that this is the main line. This is the main line that we've been concerned with. Straight line damaging winds was always the main threat, but within this line, sometimes there could be an embedded rotation storm or a cell. And that is the concern for an isolated tornado. And that's why we've got that tornado warning in effect right now. And you can kind of see, not really necessarily a meteorological term, but you can kind of see the little squiggle here within this line. And sometimes when you get that little notch or the kidney bean shape, that is where we see the rotation. And it's on the southern end of that notch where a tornado would form if there would be a tornado. So right now, we don't have a tornado warning in Alamance County, but I want you to treat this as a tornado warning because it is moving so fast. The line itself is moving at 55 miles per hour. So kind of think of it as a bowling ball, right? When you throw that bowling ball, you've got that force with that as fast as that is going. And then not only that, but you got the weight of the bowling ball. The same situation here. We've got the line itself moving at 55 miles per hour. Then aloft, up in the sky, we've got winds that are 70 to 90 miles per hour. And as the thunderstorm grows, we get the updrafts and the downdrafts. And it's the downdrafts that can tap into that really strong winds that can bring that down. So that is why generally we could see 45 to 60 mile per hour wind gust with possible higher amounts within the strongest storm. So right now you need to make sure that you are in your safest place of your home, into a lower level, into an interior part of your home, away from windows. A bathroom would be great, a closet, and this is going to be in and out. So you got to stay hunkered down for maybe 10 minutes at maximum, and then this is going to be out of here. So I know that sometimes this can be scary, but so far we have not seen major reports within this line of damage, and also it's going to be in and out pretty quickly. This isn't going to be a storm that's going to be lingering. So let's go back to our tornado warning that we've got right now in Caswell County. It does appear that the severe part of this storm has moved right over the Danville area. And while technically Danville is not in our viewing area, I do know that we have a lot of families that live in families that live in Danville, and we do get some viewership up in this area. So you can see here's Gatewood, here's Danville. There's some broad rotation with this, and that doesn't necessarily mean that the threat is over. It just means that we're probably seeing the storm kind of either weakening, and then it's going to regenerate as it progresses off towards the east. But we still have that tornado warning in effect until 11:45 for parts of Caswell County. I'm going to widen the picture here. We're going to zoom way out for a second because I really just want to give you a look, and you can see it's going to take a little bit of time for this radar to update. Here we go. So we've got some severe weather down in parts of Georgia, south of Atlanta. There's some severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings. We've got some strong storms in parts of the Midlands of South Carolina here towards Columbia, but there's nothing severe. And then we've got the severe weather into our neck of the woods here in the Piedmont. And then this just shows you how strong and potent this storm system is. There's snow back off towards the west in parts of Tennessee. And I know I don't want to focus too much on this because I want to make sure that those that are in the line of the severe weather, but in Chattanooga, Tennessee, we've got some snow falling here. So this is just how strong this system is. We went from warm and moist, unstable air now to some very cold air, and we're going to see freezing temperatures. We'll be down to the 20s by tomorrow morning after being into the 70s and 80s, record warmth last week, and that's why this system is so strong, because we're dealing with the clashing of cold versus warm air. And when we get the change in that, along with the upper level dynamics of the very strong winds with our jet stream and the wind shear, it doesn't take a whole lot to get some of this. So one thing that I'm noticing here, again, this is the main line. And once this is out of here, doesn't mean that we're not going to see some rain. We're seeing some steady light rain, but this is stable air, okay? And I'm going to see if I've got a surface chart. Here we go. I think I have a surface map. So here's our cold front. Cold front is still back into eastern Tennessee. So if for some reason we get this line to move out and we get some sunshine breaking out this afternoon, can't completely rule out some redevelopment with this storm. But the main threat is right now. And once we see this line moving out, the threat is really going to diminish. And I've got our high resolution futurecast up here, and you can kind of see that this is the main line, and see how the storms move into the triangle area by around 2 o'clock this afternoon. And that's where the threat is going to be by 2 this afternoon into the Raleigh area, where we still could be dealing with some rain showers and parts of the foothills and mountains and Triad. And then notice as we go through time, see what happens at around 5 o'clock? See how we get some redevelopment here? We're going to have to watch this. Doesn't necessarily mean this is going to happen. This is just one particular model. It's our high resolution model. It's what we call the HRRR, or the high resolution rapid refresh model. Okay, technical long model name, but that's basically what it is. It updates every single hour. It takes the current radar, takes the current conditions, and it updates every hour. So here we are at 5 to 6 o'clock. There's going to be strong winds with this. Can't completely rule that out as well. And then this is going to be progressing towards the east. When you look at the Storm Prediction Center's outlook for today, you can still see how we are in that level 3 and level 4, where eastern Triad areas from Greensboro down towards Asheboro, Montgomery County, towards Elon, Burlington, into Raleigh, the red, that is a moderate, level 4 out of 5 risk. And here from Greensboro west, we're in that enhanced level 3 out of 4. So the National Weather Service will update this within the next hour, and we'll likely see the tornado watch being canceled here shortly. But then we're going to have to watch for redevelopment later this afternoon. So let's go back to our severe storm real quickly, because things are winding down as far as the tornado threat goes with the storm in Caswell County. It appears that the storm has moved into the Danville, Virginia area. We are still seeing some strong winds. A severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect for Caswell County until 12:15. This is going to be including the cities of Anderson, High Towers, Locust Hill, and the storm was updated at 11:11 this morning. We've also got a strong storm, a severe storm, that's moving into the Burlington area right now, getting closer towards Saxapahaw in Alamance County. Let's take a look to see if there's any rotation. So the one good thing that I'm not seeing any major rotation with this storm, not seeing any debris. So this appears, this line moving into Alamance, now moving into Saxapahaw. It looks like the National Weather Service has canceled that tornado warning. Let's get some updates here. So the severe thunderstorm warning for Alamance County, Randolph County, Montgomery County has now ended. We've got some strong storms in southern Montgomery County here, just south of the Troy area, north of Newman, here on 220. Very heavy rain. You're going to notice some strong winds. There's no severe storm warnings or tornado warnings with that. So that is good news. Not seeing anything there. Let's go back up. I do believe that the Caswell County tornado threat is over. The National Weather Service has not updated the warning, but the storm is now into Virginia. So there's still a severe thunderstorm warning with wind potential up to 60 miles per hour. A lot has happened with the National Weather Service, so I'm going to just kind of go out here. Looks like we've got a wind damage report in the Baden Lake area, where we actually had that tornado warning earlier. There was some wind damage, trees down in Baden. Once these storms have passed, I'm sure people are going to get out and about. Let's hope that we don't have any more wind damage in parts. Let's see. You can see all of these winds down here. These icons are wind damage reports. We've got some in Yadkin County right now. let's kind of go into this one here. A 911 call center reported 15 to 20 trees down in the Forbush area of Yadkin County. There was no tornado warnings for these areas, but there were severe thunderstorm warnings. So again, straight line wind damage, straight line winds can do just as much damage as tornadoes. And a lot of people kind of forget about that. They think, oh, we're just in a severe thunderstorm warning, we're fine. And it's the tornadoes that we got to worry about. Not necessarily the case. And a lot of times we see more damage with straight line winds than we do when we get tornado warnings. So this one also in Yadkin County, Brooks Cross Road towards a tree was reported down in the Hamptonville area of Yadkin County. And this was reported at 9:30 this morning. So these were from this morning, and it took some time for the National Weather Service to put these into the system. So that, So that could be the case. We might not have any damage, or we may see some reports coming in later this morning or later this afternoon, as it is almost lunchtime. But before we go off the air here, because I really want to make sure that, we are not missing anything. We've got strong storms, but not severe, in the southern Montgomery County area. We've also got strong storms, but no longer severe, in eastern Alamance. You can see towards Saxapahaw. Let's check velocity here. Because, there's no strong rotation signatures, but one thing that I look at when I'm looking for rotation, you can kind of see the brighter greens versus the darker greens. It's the brighter greens that show up that are the stronger winds. And when you get the darker greens, it's these areas that sometimes reds start to show up, meaning that there's the winds going away from the radar. So there are a few notches in eastern Alamance County that I'm watching, but so far there's no warnings. And what you're likely going to experience is 5 to 10 minutes of very heavy rain and very strong wind, and then it's going to be gone. They're going to, it's going to pick up really quickly, and then it's going to calm down very quickly. That's just how this is. Before we get off the air, because our severe weather threat, it seems, is winding down for this morning, the National Weather Service, and I'm not sure quite why this has not updated, but I believe, and what I might just have to do is go into a different product here. Some of the tornado watches have been allowed to be canceled. So you can see that on this one here. There's a lot of warnings and things on this product. On this product here, the yellow is an indication of a tornado watch. And then the brown here is an indication of a high wind advisory. So that's what we're dealing with. And then, of course, the orange on this product is severe thunderstorm warning, and then the red is a tornado warning. So notice how parts of the triad have now been lifted from the tornado watch. And again, that's because this line is moving off towards the east. This was that main line, as our cold front is still well off towards the east. But we're going to have to watch this line. Notice how the dynamics with this system is just insane. We go from tornadoes to now winter weather. We're not going to get any of the snow here, but notice how there's some breaks back off towards the west. If we see these clouds breaking up with the cold front still to the west, there's a possibility that we may get some redevelopment later this afternoon. And I showed this earlier, and I want to kind of show this again. Here's our line that we're dealing with right now, moving off towards the east. Here's 2 o'clock in the Raleigh area. We're going to see the potential for some strong to severe storms off towards the east. But west, we're going to be seeing calming conditions, but the cold front itself comes in this afternoon. late this afternoon into the evening, and there may be some embedded strong wind gusts with this line here. Doesn't necessarily mean a tornado threat. We'll have to kind of reassess the models once I get off the air here. But this could indicate that with the actual cold front, we could still see winds gusting up to 50 miles per hour with the initial cold front. So we're not done with a wind threat. But for right now, we are done with the severe threat. And then notice again how parts of the mountains and the foothills get in on some of that winter weather. So this is a very dynamical system, very powerful, and it's going to be very cold tomorrow morning. Just kind of reassessing things before we go off the air. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Caswell County. This is right on top of Yanceyville, and this goes into effect until 12:15. We've got things winding down in the triad, some strong storms in Montgomery County, and then just some light showers off towards the west. Of course, hopefully we don't have to be back on the air until 6 o'clock, which we'll have our 6 o'clock newscast then. But of course, if there's anything else that is warranted for us to come on air, we will definitely do so. But until then, I'm going to go ahead and turn things back over to regular programming. But again, things are looking good for us right now, and hope to see you tonight at 6 o'clock. Until then, though, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jonathan Wendt, and now we're going to go back to regular programming.